All right, so we're gonna get started on our mats in our easy pose. I'm sitting on a cushion right now because it's just more comfortable for my hips, lowering my knees below my hips. So just find a nice comfortable spot for yourself with your legs crossed or out in front of you, whatever feels good for you. We're gonna sit up nice and tall here. Relax your shoulders, soften your forehead. And if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. Otherwise, look down at the floor in front of you. Bring your awareness into the room, onto your mat, into your body. By noticing any areas in your body that might have been tense, sore, restless, tired. Also aware of any strength that you've noticed in your body this week. Just bring your awareness into that, maybe your shoulders, anywhere in your back, your feet. Bring your awareness into your breath now. So unless you're congested, try to breathe in and out through your nose without trying to control the depth of your breath or the rhythm, the speed of it. Simply pay attention to it. And now as you're focusing on your breath, perhaps consider setting an intention for your practice today. Of being kind. Be kind to your body, kind to your mind. And the way that we can practice that on our mat is by paying attention to the sensations in our body of perhaps as we feel the stretching in our muscles, noticing that sweet spot of where we feel engaged, but we don't push it. We just notice, I haven't felt that in a while, or here that is again. And in yoga, we never want to cause any pain to ourselves. So in that moment, we can decide, okay, this is where I'm going to stay. Or perhaps I will back off here. Or perhaps on my next exhale, I'll soften into it a little bit deeper. And we can practice that whether it's in the stretching, the lengthening, or if it's in the strengthening, balance. Always paying attention to what our body's telling us and meeting it with compassion, curiosity and compassion. And now let's take a deep breath through our nose, and then as we exhale, slightly opening our mouth and letting it out with a sigh. So let's inhale. Feeling that release as we exhale. Let's do that again. Deep breath in, pause at the top, and then sigh. And one more deep breath in. Let's pause here, just taking a moment to recognize that as we took those breaths in and out, we were doing so with a community. Those of us practicing right now in real time over Zoom, we might be in Connecticut, South Carolina, Europe, Virginia, all over the place. And we all breathed at the same time. We're all connected. Let's do that again. One deep breath. And exhale. Just pause there in that exhale. And then from here, I'm going to remove my cushion off to the side, and slowly we're going to make our way onto all fours into our tabletop. And just wiggle your hips around a little bit here, loosening your spine a bit. Let's pause here now. We're going to do some cat-cows. So as we inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So follow that, tracking your own breath. Welcome in Kristen from Atlanta. She is. All right, so cat-cows, continuing that, following your own breath. And as you do so, noticing how this feels as you're extending your spine, those muscles that support your spine, tendons, all along your back, feeling that lengthening. And we'll do one more breath cycle here. And then we'll pause here in tabletop. So with our wrists are under our shoulders, knees under our sit bones. And from here we'll come into our spinal balance. So right arm comes up, left leg up. So they're parallel with the floor. And then let's bring it down, switch to the other side. Left arm up, right leg up. Bring it down. So continue this along your own pace as you inhale it up, exhale it down. Perhaps noticing the strength as you come up in your hamstrings, glutes, back. And then as you exhale, maybe noticing a little lengthening, especially in your lower back. Let's do one more on each side. Okay, bring it down. And as always, whenever we're on our hands like this, we are putting our weight on our wrists. So if this doesn't feel good for your body, you can always bring it down onto your forearms or place a roll towel or something underneath your hands. Give yourself a little more support. So from here, we're going to come into our hydrants. So take your right leg up with your knee bent into some wide circles. So we're opening up our hips here. Make your circles as wide as you want. And it's going to be opposite direction. Making sure you're breathing. Still breathing in and out through your nose. Let's bring that down. And now we'll take our left leg up, knee bent, do those wide circles. Opposite direction. And let's bring it down. So from here, we can take our hips over to the right and look over our left arm. Okay, so feel that lengthening in your glute, IT band, and lower back. And then let's go the other way. Okay, let's come back to the center. We're going to walk our hands forward, so we're coming into high plank on our knees. We might want to walk our knees back a little bit too. Okay, so our knees are behind our hips. So from here, we're going to bend our arms, bend your elbows, just to where the elbows come near our ribs, low plank, and then bring it all the way to the floor. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Rotate your quads outwards so your glutes are engaged. And then lengthening your spine, bring your chest up off the floor, cobra. And then push up and sit back on your heels, extending your arms forward into child's pose. Let's do that again. Coming on up, forward, high plank on your knees. Bend your elbows, low plank, all the way to the mat. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And exhale up and back into child's pose. And let's do that one more time. Coming on up and forward, high plank. Exhale, low plank to the mat. Inhale your chest up. And then exhale up and back into child's pose. And pause here. Extending your arms forward, feeling that lengthening all on the top of your back, your arms, your chest, shoulders. Few breaths here, maybe as you exhale, intentionally letting go of anything that you brought in to your practice today that doesn't serve you, or that you have no power over right now. Just let it go. Breathe it out. And then slowly making your way back up onto all fours. We're going to curl our toes under. So feeling that stretching that's going on in our toes, the arches of our feet. We don't do that enough. So pause. And then press into the balls of your feet, raising your knees off the mat a couple inches. Pause there. Feeling the power in your upper body, even as you lengthen your feet, your Achilles. And then without moving your hands or feet, bring your hips up to the sky into downward dog and inverted V. And let's bend one knee at a time, so we're walking our outer dog. Maybe noticing the stretching in our feet, down the bottoms of our legs. Breathing. Okay, hold your dog still here. And then bend both knees so your shins are parallel with the mat. Pause. And then slowly walk your feet forward into forward fold. Okay, so keep your knees soft, even bent. Notice how this feels on your back. If it's putting any strain on your back, bend your knees a bit more. Breathe. Your head is floppy. Your arms are floppy. This isn't about stretching, this is more about softening into a fold, feeling the blood coming to your head, giving you energy, oxygen. And then from here, take a moment to acknowledge the 4 points of each foot. The big toe mound, baby toe mound, and then each side of the heel. Just notice how they press into the mat. And then energetically, without moving your feet, energetically push your heels away from each other. And notice how that engages the muscles all through your legs. Hold that power and then come up into half lift. So you bring your hands either to your shins or to your thighs. And you're lengthening your spine now. So in forward fold, our spine is rounded. Here we're lengthening it. Not straightening it because our back isn't straight. It's a natural curve. Okay, back down into forward fold. Once again, pressing your heels away from each other. Slowly reverse swan dive up. So come up with a nice long spine. Reach up to the sky and take a breath as you reach back. Opening up your heart, your arms. Couple breaths here, welcoming life, world, whatever it brings. And then come back up. Okay, so let's take another breath together. Inhale. And then exhale, bending a bit over to the right. I call this banana pose. So feel that lengthening along your left side of your torso. Inhale up. Exhale left. Inhale up. And now we'll do a slight twist to the right. So turn and extend your arms parallel with the floor, outward. Couple breaths here, noticing how it feels to breathe in a twist. Inhale your arms up. And now exhale, open up to the left with a slight twist. Couple breaths here. Inhale your arms up. And now let's separate our feet so a little more than hip width apart. Let's take another breath here. And then exhale down into a squat. Inhale, press through your feet and legs, come back up. Exhale down. Okay, so continue a few of these. So as you exhale down, feel that stretching, that opening up in your hips. As you inhale, you're pressing up through your feet and legs, feeling that power. And now let's pause at the bottom here, a little bit of a squat. Let's place our hands on the mat and slowly lengthen our legs. So coming up into a forward fold with our knees, or rather our feet are a bit still in that widened stance. Just pause here for a couple moments. Let's take a breath here now. Inhale. And then as you exhale, twist to the right, raising your right arm. So once again, spinal twist and feel that lengthening maybe in your lower back. You might feel it in your hamstrings too, so keep your knees soft. And then let's bring it back down. Inhale here. And then exhale, twist to the left. Bring it back down. Let's bring our hands together behind our back, clasping them together, and then gently pulling them forward. And again, our feet, our legs, our knees can be soft as we need. And now we're opening up our chest, our shoulders, a little bit in our hamstrings, not too much. And release. Okay, let's walk our feet back together so we're in forward fold. So once again, bring our awareness to those 4 points in each foot. Press your feet, your heels away from each other without actually moving them. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your left foot back, then your right to meet it in high plank. Shift your weight forward a couple of inches. Exhale, low plank, bringing your elbows in. You can come all the way down to the floor here. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And then exhale, come through your knees and into downward dog. And remember, whenever we do planks, you can always bring your knees to the mat if that feels better for your body. Remember that compassion, listening to our body with curiosity and compassion. Let's bend both knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. And we'll do another flow again, moving with our breath. Pressing our heels into the mat and away from each other. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step each foot back into a high plank. Come onto your knees. Shift forward. Exhale, bend your elbows all the way to the mat. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And then exhale through tabletop and into downward dog. Take your right leg up to the sky. Downward dog split. Really reaching it up. And then bring your right foot forward, placing it between your hands into a lunge. Pause here. Take a moment to notice your knees tracking over your heel, which you always want to do in a lunge. And then we're going to place our back foot, our left foot, replace the ball of the foot with the heel. So your foot is coming flat on the mat. And then reach your arms forward, come up into warrior one. Okay, so your hips are facing forward, the short end of your mat. Feet are pressing into the mat. Relax your shoulders. Couple breaths here, feeling lengthening your spine. And then if you want a slight back bend here, breathing into it, noticing how this feels in your left quad and hip, the lower back. Come back up, reach your arms forward, bring them back to the ground, framing your right foot. Step your right foot back into high plank. Now if you want to, you can add a push-up here, shifting forward, low plank, high plank, and everyone into downward dog. Let's take our left leg up now. Again, reaching it up, lengthening through the hip. Breathe. And now let's bring that foot forward, placing it between our hands. So again, low lunge, knees tracking over the heel. And now if we look back at our right foot, we're going to place our heel where the pad of the foot was. Okay, so reach forward and up. Back into warrior one. Relax your shoulders. Press the outside of your back foot to the mat. Breathe. Reach up and back. Come back up. reach forward, down, and then bring your left foot back to meet the right in high plank. Same thing as before. If you like to, shift forward, down, back up, and into downward dog. Okay, so press your hands into the mat. Press your sit bone up to the ceiling, feeling how that lengthens your spine. Draw your shoulder blades together. Bring your shoulders away from your ears. Let's take our right leg up, downward dog split. And bring it forward, again into a lunge, placing it between your hands. So from here, we're going to come up into a high lunge. So we're bringing our torso up. You can either reach your arms up into that victory pose again, or if that's getting a bit tired on your shoulders, you always place your hands on your head or on your hips. Breathe, feeling that lengthening along the left side of your hip. Okay, let's press through the front foot and come up, and then back down. Again, through the front foot, back down. So this is our second balance pose. First one was our spinal balance. We'll do 2 more of these. We're balancing and we're strengthening and we're lengthening all in one. All right, let's reach forward now, place our hands back down on the mat, and then step our foot back to meet the other in high plank. And then from here, we can either do full or modified side plank. So we're going to turn to the right, stack our legs, raise our right arm, or drop your left knee. Keep your leg out. So it's up to you how you want to do this. You can also come down onto your forearm. Breathe. All right, let's bring our arm back down, high plank. And again, optional, shift forward, low, high, everyone into downward dog. Couple breaths here. Take our left leg up. And bring it forward, placing between our hands in that low lunge. And then when you're ready, as always with the balance poses, we want to bring our attention to those 4 points on our foot, on the supporting foot or feet. Once you've done that, come back up into your high lunge, crescent warrior. Let's press through the front foot, back down. Again, breathing. 2 more of these. Okay, let's reach down. And now we'll step our left foot back into high plank. Turn around. It's the same thing as before. You can either come into a full side plank to the left now, or drop your right knee. Breathe. And then bring that arm down into high plank. Optional, shift forward, down, up, and everyone into downward dog. Couple breaths here. Okay, bend both knees. And now slowly walk your feet forward, coming into forward fold. Couple breaths here. And then bend both knees. Sitting back there so you can see your toes even as you bring your arms up and come up into fierce pose. So as you look down, you should still be able to see your toes. That means you're sitting back adequately. All right, let's bring palms together. And then let's twist to the right. And now take a look down at your knees. You want them to be aligned, not one in front of the other. So shift your hips as you need to. Breathe. If you want to, you can open your arms. Really paying attention to your breathing, especially the exhale. Good. Slowly come through the center and go the other way. Open your arms if you want. And back to the center and come to forward fold for a couple breaths here. Pause. As always, noticing the blood coming to your head. Okay, still focused on bringing the strength into your legs by pressing your heels away from each other. Slowly, we'll come all the way up to reverse swan dive. Take a deep breath here. And then exhale, bring your right arm under your left. So you're wrapping your forearms around each other, palms together. If that doesn't feel good for you, we'll bring our elbows up by our shoulders too. If this doesn't work for you, you can always just hug yourself. Okay, so from here, bend your knees. And notice how this feels in your shins, your calves, your Achilles. Pause here. So if you'd like to, you can turn this into a balance pose, eagle. Pick a spot to focus your gaze on. And then when you're ready, wrap your right thigh around your left. Squeeze together. As you squeeze together, creating that centered balance along the midline. Breathe. And release. Shake it out if you need to. All right, let's do that again. We'll take a deep breath, reaching up. And then exhale your left arm under your right. Or give yourself a hug. Or do both. We can always give ourselves hugs. Let's bring our elbows up in line with our shoulders. And then bend your knees. Pause there. Notice how good that feels. And then if you'd like to, pick a spot to focus on and wrap your left leg around your right. Breathe. And release. Take a deep breath, reaching up. And exhale down into forward fold. Couple breaths here. Let's separate our feet about, I don't know, like mat width apart, hip width. See what feels right for you. We're gonna bend our knees now, coming into a squat. So in a squat, we just wanna make sure that our heels are on the floor, right? We don't wanna be doing this thing, at least not for now. Okay, so if that means you need to separate your feet and legs more, then do that. We're all built so differently. So from here, we're gonna press into our heels, into our feet, legs, and come about halfway up and pause. We're still pressing into our heels, feeling that power along our legs. And then slowly come all the way up as you inhale. And then exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Again, up, down. Do a few more of these. See if you can move with your own breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Always, as you come up, pressing into your feet. We're going to do one more up and then meet at the bottom. Okay, so from here, let's come up halfway and pause. Pause here. Press your heels away from each other. And then slowly come all the way up. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, come down into forward fold. Still with your feet apart. Couple breaths here. Okay, let's walk our feet further apart. As wide as you want. And then we're going to bend our knees again. So coming into a wide squat, our hands are on the floor. Keep your head floppy. Noticing the lengthening that's going on in your inner thighs. And then from here, keep your knees bent and bring your torso up and show me those biceps. So you can feel really silly right now, and that's good. So now we're going to bring our right elbow to our right knee, up, left, up. So continue this, focusing on really strong biceps here, focusing on breathing, noticing how strong your abs are here, your obliques, side abs basically. Breathing, your quads are loving this. And then let's pause in the middle and do some pulsing. I know those of you who have been with me for years, taking my class in person in Connecticut, are like, I remember this. I know, I love you too. All right, let's extend our arms out now. Bring our torso flat so it's parallel with the ground. Breathe through this. Our legs are straightened without ever locking knees. We're strengthening our back as we breathe through it. And then release your hands to the floor. Your head is floppy. You can do some wiggles with your hips if that feels good. Softening out our lower back, our inner thighs. Okay, let's bend our knees and then walk our hands over to the right, extending our left leg, feeling a gentle stretch there in our left inner thigh. And now slowly, let's walk our hands to the left, extend our right leg. Back to the middle. And then slowly, as we release our head, we'll walk our feet back together into forward fold. Okay, let's walk our hands forward, walk our feet back, so we're coming into high plank. Pause here. And then bring it down onto our forearms, into forearm plank. So with forearm plank, want to make sure that or any plank really, check in with your back. If it feels like you're straining it, see if you can shift so that you're not bringing your hips toward the floor, and if not, bring your knees down. And take a couple breaths here. And then if you'd like to, place your right hand down, then your left coming up into high plank. Back down onto your forearms. If you didn't want to do that, you could stay on forearm plank or come down to the mat. take our left hand down, then our right, because we always have to do the same thing on both sides. Shift forward, bend your elbows, come all the way down. Bring your arms alongside your body and take a few breaths. Okay, so let's leave our arms alongside our body. Turn our head forward. We're going to press our feet into the mat. Rotate our quads outward. Lengthen our spine. Bring our chest up. Bring our arms up. Our neck is neutral. And then if you want to, you can bring your legs up too. So breathe into this. Breathe into your back. Two more breaths. And release. Bring your hands over by your ribs. Same thing, pressing into the tops of your feet. Rotate your quads outward. Lengthen through your spine. Bring your chest up into cobra. And then press up into seal. And then come back into child's pose. And if you want to, you can rock your hips here to circles. Notice how this feels in your back. And then slowly coming up. Tabletop, curl your toes under, and bring your hips up into downward dog. Take right leg up, and bring it forward. Coming to our lunge. And here you can stay up here in a lunge, or you can lower your back knee. It's up to you, so it feels right for you. You're going to twist to the right now. So twist into the front leg. Deep breaths. Noticing how this feels along your back, IT band, glute. Your right shoulder as you lengthen it. Let's bring that hand down. Come onto your back knee. Bring your body up. Palms together. Point your index fingers up. Lengthen your back and reach back. Then come back up. Extend your front leg and bring your heart toward it. With a nice long spine. This isn't about bringing your nose to your knee. It's more about noticing as you lengthen your spine and bring your heart toward your thigh. Notice your breath. Notice how this feels in your hamstring. And don't force anything. Okay, let's come flat onto that foot. Bring your hands to the inside of it. Walk your foot out to the right. And just pause here, feeling that lengthening in your hip area, your left quad, your inner thighs. So you can stay up here, or you can come onto your forearms if that works for you today. And just notice what is lengthening here. How does this feel? How are you breathing? Let's slowly come on up. Shift your right leg. So it's folded in front of you, headed toward pigeon. So our back leg is extended. Our balance is centered. So we're not collapsed into the right cheek. And then reach forward, lengthening your spine as you fold forward and come into a place that feels relaxing and helpful. And breathe into it. Slowly, let's come on up. I know all things must end, including that. We're gonna walk or bring our right leg back to meet the left into our tabletop. Curl your toes under, bring your knees up and into downward dog. Take our left leg up and bring it forward into a low lunge. Left foot is between our hands. And then same as before, if you want to, you can drop your right knee, otherwise leave it up there, and rotate to the left. Breathing. And bring that arm down. Come onto your back knee. Bring your body up, palms together, fingers pointed up, and stretch back. Come back up. Extend your front leg. And again, bring your heart toward it with a nice long spine. Place your hands on your leg as long as you're not really pressing into it. You can use a block or any other prop that you have lying around your house. A dog. Some of you have dogs on your mat right now, I think. Lean on the dog. Let's bring our foot flat to the floor and then walk it out to the left. Bring our hands to the inside of it. Pause here. Notice how this feels in your hip area and your thighs. Perhaps your back too. And if it feels good, you can come onto your forearms. And then slowly coming up, we will shift our left leg into pigeon. So folding it in front of us, back leg is extended. And then come forward, find a comfortable spot. You don't want it to be too comfortable because then it's easy for the mind to wander. We want to stay engaged. So just find that sweet spot where you can feel the lengthening in your IT band, glute, hip flexor, lower back, and breathe. And then slowly come on up. Bring your back leg around, feet flat on the floor. Reach your arms forward. Notice your back. You don't want it rounded here. We want to have a nice and lengthened, opening our heart. And then coming back just to where you feel your abs engaging one more time. And then in that moment, notice, am I breathing? Chances are I was holding my breath. So now it's a reminder to breathe. And then slowly come back and bring your knees in. Give yourselves a hug. Hug your knees in. You can roll around on your back if that feels good. Okay, bring your feet flat on the floor and then bring your right foot over your left thigh And then we're going to bring our knees in, and then if it feels comfortable, you're okay with it, you can bring your right hand to your left foot, left hand to right foot, and bring your knees in a little more. You just want to make sure when you're doing this that you're not putting any strain on your ankles, so just be mindful of that. You might notice a nice lengthening in your right glute, hamstring. All right, let's switch to the other side now. So opposite hand to foot, bring your knees in. And bring your feet back down onto the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. So you're releasing your knees to the floor. It's like a lying down butterfly. Take a moment to check in with your lower back. So if you feel like it's arching away from the floor, see if you can bring it closer to the ground. Maybe notice your heart rate slowing down. Maybe your breathing is deepening. And then let's extend our legs out. So straightening out our legs. As we inhale, reach arms up toward the sky, and then over our heads. Let's stretch everything out. Notice how it feels as we inhale and lengthen a little more. And then on your next inhale, bring your arms up toward the sky and then gently lower them by your sides on your exhale. Closing your eyes if that's comfortable. Making any last minute adjustments as we come into Shavasana. So finding a place that's comfortable for just a few minutes of basically rebooting our body and brain. Relax your forehead, cheekbones, your jawbones. Notice how your back melts into the ground. Perhaps with every exhale, you feel it softening more. The whole back of your body softens into the mat, into the ground. Noticing any tingling in your feet, your legs, fingers. Bring your awareness to your breath now, without trying to change it or control it. Just pay attention to it. Perhaps you're still breathing through your nose, breathing out through your nose. Notice how that feels. Notice how your body moves with the in-breath, expanding, moving away from the ground, your chest, your abdomen. And then with your out-breath, notice how your body just knows to come back. When your mind wanders from this focus on the breath, and you notice that in that moment, you have a choice whether to continue with the thought or let it go and then bring your focus back to the breath. That is the practice. April 10th, at home in our skin. The spiritual life is about becoming more at home in your own skin. Parker J. Palmer. Anything that removes what grows between our hearts and the day is spiritual. It might be the look of a loved one stirring their coffee as morning light surprises their groggy eyes. It might be the realization while watching a robin build its nest that you are only a temporary being in this world. It might be a fall on ice that reminds you of the humility of your limitations. As Parker Palmer suggests, the aim of all spiritual paths, no matter their origin or the rigors of their practice, is to help us live more fully in the lives we are given. In this way, whatever comes from a moment's grace that joins us to our lives and to each other, this is spiritual. For example, I was having coffee the other day in a cafe, and suddenly, from the rain of noise around me, there arose a word of truth in the exposed voice of a stranger whose face I couldn't even see. I don't know her context or her story or whom she was revealing herself to. I didn't even turn around to see her face, because in that moment, there was a perfect beauty in our staying anonymous. I only felt, simply and deeply, that without her ever knowing, her moment of pointed and unexpected truth made me more at home in my own skin. The life of spirit is everywhere. In dust waiting for light, in music waiting to be heard, in the sensations of the day waiting to be felt. Being spiritual is much more useful and immediate than the books about books would have us think. Mark Nepo and the Book of Awakening. So when you're ready, you can slowly wiggle your toes, your fingers, make any subtle movements, become more awake, more into your body. And then as you're ready, slowly making your way up into your easy pose, if that's comfortable for you, sitting tall, with your legs crossed or extended. Our eyes are still closed or we're looking down at the floor in front of us. Still focused inward on the sensations in our body and our breath. Let's bring our palms together at heart center. And take a moment to thank our body for waking up today, for showing up for us, carrying us through our life, this one only body that we have while we're here on this earth. And we so take for granted most of the time, just like our breath. So let's take a moment and really thank it. Thank it for its beauty inside and out, strength and power, its patience, wisdom, miraculous resilience. And if we'd like to, we can continue with that intention that we set for ourselves on our mat today and bring it off our mat and into our world, our life, to really listen with curiosity and compassion, finding those moments of connection or opportunity for connection with our body, with our breath, with those that are in our home with us, with those that are virtually with us in our life around us, with the strangers around us, with nature. Truly listen. And perhaps in those moments where we have a choice of real connection, perhaps of being more at ease with ourselves in our own skin, like the reading, notice that choice. Do I choose to feel that connection, or do I just carry on with my life? We always have a choice to pause. And if we don't make that choice, that's okay too. So let's take a deep breath. And then as we exhale, bowing forward, namaste, peace. And I am going to